Here we go. I mean, they're really crucial to the success of every driver, every team.
Yeah, I mean, these guys practice changing tires, and like I said, you saw that one in 1 minute, which was amazing. And then sometimes when they have to change parts and be a mechanic, they can kind of do it all.
Yeah, I mean, you really got to have the stamina. You got to be calm. You got to be physically fit. You got to understand racing.
Yeah. The psychology of it, too.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's an interesting race going on right here with Alan and Pudia catching the Vildozola truck, driven by Ricky Johnson. Alan is fast. I mean, he's crazy fast, and I know when he smells
Alan and
that
Tavo
dust.
like to grapple a little bit. We had moments from other past races where they shared some exchanges.
Well, and speaking of that, you know, this is really disappointing for Menzies and Polvarde, but what it has done is it's opened up the championship for Alan and Tavo.
Yeah.
So, you know, gosh, he only got 27 miles, and now the whole field has changed for the championship.
Absolutely.
Heidi, could we bring up on your map there, kind of giving the people at home a live perspective of sort of where these trucks are at? We can punch into your map here in a little minute. Maybe take us through. We'll take a look at what exactly we got going on. So there's Luke.
Yeah, so you can see that Luke is out front. So that's
manual gearboxes, and there's a lot of geometry that has to happen getting from the engine, which is now mid-engine, transfer case, transmission transfer case, getting to that front diff, right? The speeds, the drive shafts and everything are spinning, keeping the CV boots and all that stuff alive. But really, the portals, they're not a slow speed portal. These are a high speed portal, and they're giving you the ground clearance needed when you run all-wheel drive. So the way it works is, you know, you have your drive shaft coming in, you know, your axle shaft coming into the spindle, where typically in a two-wheel drive truck, the center line of your hub is in line with the lower uniball. Well, you can't do that when the axle needs to be there, so you lose about 6 inches, which is 6 inches of ground clearance or 6 inches of compression travel, however you want to look at that. So with the portals, it's pushed the wheel down with about 4 gears inside that thing. So you're spinning the axle and the CV from the center line of a good angle for the axle and CV, but you're still pushing the hub down in line with that lower ball joint. So
I mean, I just don't hold on to the steering wheel and press the pedal.
Well, you do when everything's working well. That's exactly
all you
what
got to do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Jerry. We're going to go now to another video from Wes Miller about course marking. Let's roll that clip.
I made it about halfway and then had to start zigzagging to get up this hill. So I think a two-wheel drive, no way. You're going to have to go. Luckily, there's alternate routes around to the left there, and that's around race mile between 65 and 70.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have to really, that's why they open up the pre-running about 2 or 3 weeks before this race. You really have to do your homework if you're in the more limited classes, because there are points where you have to figure out a way to get around, or you could be stuck for a while.
For sure. I think, again, an all-wheel drive trophy truck, you're four-wheel drive and you got horsepower.
Yeah.
So that thing can go pretty much anywhere.
That funky slide guitar music that comes out every Monday through Friday live at 5 on the Evil Uppy Network and Rumble, and we're back on YouTube. Wonder how long it's going to get before we get kicked off on there. We made about a 10-week run, which is like a world's record for me, but I refused to acquiesce to their draconian standards over there. On that, you got the opening of, or some of the highlights that just started about a half hour ago, of the Baja 1000, the iconic desert race that starts, I think, up in San Felipe, runs all the way down Baja till the end, till you run out of real estate. And then they come all the way back up. I mean, I don't know whether they've been doing that since the 50, 60, 70 years of the Baja 1000. So you got that great race up there. As you see it, well, let's run some of that. We'll run some of the highlights up there in the small screen. As you can see some of the action going on there as they race through the countryside of that. And you see there's a farm or some sort of nice green grass as they're going between the hills and the farming area and through the rocks and everything as they do. What an iconic race of that. Lots of champions, none other than Malcolm Smith from Riverside, who won the motorcycle race 97,000 times, and I think won it in the trucks and dune buggies too. So if you see Malcolm Smith motorcycles there on Indiana, that's him. He won. I think he might be the one that's won the most races in the Baja 1000. If not, he's awful close to it. But that's one of the cool things going on. Of course, there's that Tyson Paul fight that's going on that everybody's doing. I think those things are kind of gimmicky to me, but I might roll in and tune into it just to see how it goes. But I'd rather, some of the gimmicky stuff is, you wonder if it's more on the wrestling end where it's a show, but hey, if people enjoy it and have a good time, nothing wrong with that. And we need a good time after the whole 2024 election season and all that. We'll get into that and much more. A little update on the meltdown at the Moreno Valley Unified School Board Tuesday. Of course, we're attracting more attention as it goes through throughout the world as they roam through. It's really, really, really something to see. Of all that, couple of upset victories in the making. One's conceded already. The other doesn't look like they're going to make it. Some of the establishment hacks in the Inland Empire are going down to defeat, and I can have a bigger smile on my face because I predicted both of them would lose versus a lot of people you guys hold in high regard or you hero worship. I caution you of anyone, maybe except me, but I caution you to I caution you to hero worship anybody. They're just people just like you. They're subject to the same fallacies, vulnerabilities, and everything else abilities of anyone else. People have their strengths and weaknesses and all that whole stuff. So, but what I will say is hold them all to the same standard. Just because you might like them or just because they might say something you like once in a while or a lot of the time, don't necessarily think that a lot of them are still working in your best interest and in the best interest of our local areas, state, counties, federal, and the world if you want to expand it into that. That's just a cool sight there, cruising through Baja, probably at 100 mile an hour, going down the trails of that. That's a lot of the roads you see down in Baja or Mexico. They don't have a lot of freeways and paved roads like we do here in the United States of Americana. So that's how they get her done. And that, like I say, 70 plus. I don't know, when did it start in the 50s? Herschel McGriff, who won a lot of races at Riverside Raceway, I think participated, what was it, 52 or 53? He participated in the first one, I think, of this. I think they called it the Pan American race at the time. He's still, 93, 94 years old, and ran a race in Phoenix, I think, a couple of years ago. So, a lot of history to that. This is the Indy 500 Super Bowl of off-road racing, the Baja 1000. There's nothing like it. And there's no better mantle that you can have on your resume if you're into off-road racing than winning the Baja 1000. The Mint 400 used to be a crown jewel. I'm not going to downgrade it, but it probably isn't. Up in Vegas or out in the desert of Las Vegas was probably number 2. But no, everybody, if you're into off-road racing, that's the one you want to win. Even Parnelli Jones run it. His son PJ's running racing in it today too. So, and we just recently lost the great SoCal Racer Indy 500 winner Rufus Parnelli Jones here a few months ago. But anyway, back on the serious subjects, or maybe not so serious subjects that we usually cover around here. Want to give an update on the Moreno Valley School meltdown that proffered off Tuesday, probably the worst, if not the worst, meeting in Moreno Valley. I held out hope a little bit for the school district when they did make a change at the superintendent's office. They didn't follow through with my next recommendation that they needed to come in here, somebody to kick ass and take names, interim superintendent. Like I say, we needed to go look at the movie Lean on Me, Joe Clark, or just really look at Joe Clark. Look at some of just go put in like Start Page or Go.go or something like that. Joe Clark, principal in New Jersey, Lean on Me, the movie, which Morgan Friedman paid him. But to actually watch Joe Clark, he went into a New Jersey high school that was drug-ridden. The cartel of these students, drug dealers and everything, were controlling the schools. He went in there with a baseball bat and a bullhorn and cleaned it up, got the kids learning, got rid of the trash. He took, got his garbage can. He didn't have a MAGA hat at the time, but he'd probably been wearing one. His white T-shirt and vest along that, and got rid of the trash, got rid of the people that were causing the problem. And so the students there that wanted to learn and have an education would learn. You're not going to save everybody. I don't know, that's why we have jails and things like that, because there's some people that just cannot function or want to conform, or however you want to do it, whatever socioeconomic, head shrinking stuff you want to go through. There's just a certain percentage of the population that is not, you're not going to save them. And you can't, if you got a class of 30 kids, you can't let one kid ruin it for the other 29. You can't say, well, just because he's a human being and we can't say this, and we'll just let the whole class go to S. And, you can't let the perfect get in the way of the greater good. You remove, do whatever, special. That's why we had con school or continuation school or whatever. if you want to be a-hole, we got a spot for you over here. The rest of the kids that want to learn, we'll carry on. That's what we really need to get back to. And we've gotten too far away from that. A Joe Clark, and what was that? That was like 30, 40 years ago or whenever it was. It was quite a while ago. It would be hard for a guy like Joe Clark to straighten out a school system today with all that's coming on. But there's some good news coming on board on that too. Then hopefully we'll have time to highlight some of that, some of the positive news that's coming out on that. I want to get to, Newsmax, and I said they had Oscar and Patty on that were at the school board meeting on that. They did get them on there, I think around 7 a.m. or so of that. Just going to run a short clip because sometimes Newsmax gets a little pissy about you running stuff and they want to flag this and get on with that. So I'm just going to run a short clip just to show you they were on there. Here we go. Hopefully. Why is he not talking?
Time that the school district, stop tolerating hate speech in class. Right. There should be zero tolerance for hate speech.
That was Patty Kabbalah, or I'm sure I'm messing up her last name, but they ran the clip that she had, the Fred Banuelos, and I really wish they, and I mean, I know Corey D'Angelo, like Corey a lot. I mean, I'm not blaming him, but I wish you see Fred sitting there with his Trump shirt on. You see he's probably in the chat of there. It was actually Fred that did the job of taping that on his Moreno Valley First page of that, so... But I wish I would have given Fred the credit up there for putting that up there. But it doesn't matter. I mean, that's just a minor point. But, and again, I'd run more of it on there, but Newsmax gets all, they want to flag your stuff if you use their videos or stuff. So I don't want to get, I don't want to run too much. But I did want to show you that they did, Oscar and Patty did get on Newsmax for about a 6 or 7 minute segment, just to show you that it, it's went all over the world. I don't know, 25, 30, 50 million views, the video of the meltdown of the teacher that, was running the racist rant and the whole, if you're Mexican and you voted for Trump, you're doing so because you want to be white. At least that's getting out now on some more of the major stuffs where, like our local stations and stuff, were like, totally avoiding that part of it. Which is, again, I'm saying you need to listen. You need to encourage more people to listen to guys like me and that and get you the real news. Who else? I mean, I almost took an hour yesterday to break all this stuff down or show you what's going on in your schools or how they're being run. The racist crap that's going in, and it isn't limited to Moreno Valley. There was a deal at Chino, one down in Orange County, another one coming up. Another teacher had a meltdown, even worse, said she is going to put Trump supporters on a stretcher and they will be gone permanently. She's from back east. This is on Channel 8. Did an interview with this teacher, and the emotion and the feelings, and I didn't mean it, and teaching means everything, and my kids, and oh, please. Well, she's out. She was forced to quit. And we'll do it in reverse order as they did on the video. The TV station, this is why distrust most, not me, most of your local news to national news. They're all trying to slant it. So here's a clip of the teacher that said she was wanting to put all Trump supporters, voters on a stretcher and get rid of them permanently.
If you voted for Trump, literally, please delete me, block me, get rid of everything of me, or step to me so that I know what's up and then I can handle you how I see fit. Just because you won doesn't mean we don't remember who the blank you voted for. You're not in the clear. Please, please don't test your gangster on me because you will end on a stretcher, gone forever. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so
it sounds like a threat.
It sounds very extreme. And again, I was in a moment of high emotions and I shouldn't have ever posted the video. But what I really, the message I was trying to get across, and it came off very wrong.
You're going to see it here in a second. Oh, yeah, lady. That's what I say. They should have run the video clip, not the reporter or anchor reading her clip. Show the video she posted, which will come on after this. But yeah, since you like to use the word, you effed up big time, lady. Now, and I hope you are never a teacher again. You're never, ever around any kids or teaching them because you're not mentally stable enough to be a teacher. Here's more from the 8 report. Here we go.
Was, you know, if this is going to give people the almost permission in their minds to enact violence against women or anybody, I wanted to basically just say, like, I'm not going to go down without a fight. I mean, you know.
Notice we're trying to justify what was, if somebody is potentially going to do some violence, I'm going to say you're not. Shut up. You meant what you said. That wasn't an emotional outburst. And I have done this, and I have talked to a lot of friends and a lot of people in the business and a lot of people that have gotten emails like I have and everything else or that or comments or private messages or what. Every one of them is female and looks like her. 100% of having these emotional meltdowns because the majority of the country decided Donald J. all the way. A majority. They said, and I even thought it. I didn't, up until this election, until a couple of months ago, I said, hell, Republicans are never going to win the popular vote. Not for maybe decades, if ever. Hell, Donald turned that right around. He's going to win the popular vote on top of the Electoral College. And hopefully that will kill this. Oh, we got to eliminate the Electoral College and get the popular vote. So, this little Missy, who's now out of a job, yes, out of a job, properly, so the poor kids that had to go to class with this every day.
It's my life's dream to be a teacher. I consider those kids my kids because I don't have any of my own. And they fill that for me. And
Thank God there isn't a poor child. A poor child that has to endure 24/7, 365 with this nut. Of course, we're going to try to pull the emotional plea, and I don't. Well, you must. It didn't work, Missy.
It's so fulfilling. It's so rewarding. And I know that what people see right now, I don't look like that person, but I truly would do anything to help any child and any family in need.
Just because you won doesn't mean we don't remember who the you voted for. You're not in the clear. And just please don't test your gangster on me because you will end on a stretcher, gone forever.
If you voted for Trump.
So, that's quite different than the crocodile tears on the TV and oh, my kids, and they're just like my kids because I don't have any, and it's my career, and I've been through these things You win some, you lose some. And as I will say after every election, I'll walk up to the podium and say, you know, the elections are over. Now's the time to govern. You move on. You know, look to the next. You know, the ones you won, try to keep those. The ones you lost, figure out why. Come back the next time, do it different, or figure out why you lost and change it or whatever. You're the one that's gangster and threatening. But of course, it's a straight white male, the evil men that they're going to come attack. But I can do it. I'm just going to prevent them from going BS. You know, this is the rhetoric and the mentality. Importantly, and that's why I say she should not be a school teacher. I'm glad she is not a school teacher. She should never be again, because this is a mentality that has wrecked our school system. This is the mentality that's given you this crap. And this is the mentality that has given you what happened at Moreno Valley Unified School District on Tuesday. Plain and simple. You know, the Randy Weingardens telling, and teachers telling us we could, to get the U.S. attorney to come put us in jail because you don't like what they're saying over COVID and all this stuff. And they were mean. They actually wanted us to go back to work. Those evil people that were paying our ridiculous salaries for you to sit on your ass for 2 years or whatever you did. So don't cry no crocodile tears. Woman up. If you're badass and you're going to make gangster threats and you're going to act like us in the retarded population, then do it. Then show us how badass you are, lady. Don't go on the TV and start running crocodile tears. You know, let's get back to the roles we all should be. Let's just get back to doing things like Mother Nature, God, or however you want to say it, put us here, however you figure we got here. Let's just let's start working on everybody's strength, not let's try to tear everybody down. Because that's what the Democrats, the left, really the loony left, which is turning, or the elites, look at the meltdown over Trump's picks. I hope he the whole deal with the FBI thing coming out now where they're trying to put that goofball Rogers in. No, put Kash Patel on. They're melting down. You didn't like me? You did. Oh, they got Hegseth at defense. Oh, they start going crazy. Oh, Tulsi Gabbard. Oh, she's a Russian agent. Then he flipped out Matt Gaetz, and they totally lost it. Then Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And they're going, the left nuts are going absolutely, and the establishment, the ones controlling the strings, are going absolutely ape bleep because Trump is doing what the majority of the people wanted. They don't want illegal invasions coming through their country. They don't want criminals murdering, like the Laken Riley trial that's going on today or started today. The brutal murder and all the crime and taking it over. You don't think it is there? We got tape of Tennessee. The gangs are in every city in Tennessee. The illegal gangs from illegal aliens that were piped in by the millions from the Harris-Biden administration. They wrecked our education. They've wrecked the borders. They've run a systematic campaign against a straight white male. You've never heard. I bet you this broad has never said a darn nice thing about a male ever. And that's got to stop. This we will never get any of this back unless yo-yos like this are not at the controls of power, are not educating your kids. Let them, if you want to stomp and scream and have hissy fits and you can't handle life, then let's start building those mental institutions, and we got a nice padded cell for you. And you can have all the emotional breakdowns or whatever, or hate everybody what you want. At least we know where you're at and you're not harming anyone else. I mean, we saw the racist stuff here. We see the unhinged going on. Who? Obama was going to put Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in 2008. You know who protested? The conservatives, like Jim Inhofe, the senator from Oklahoma and stuff, said no and kind of stopped it. Now, whatever, all 47 or 48 or however many Democrats in the Senate better be voting for RFK Jr. for HHS secretary. Because your Messiah Obama put him in there, or wanted to put him in. But it was the mean Republicans that stopped it. Well, now he's got his shot. 16 whatever years later. No, he should have that. Kash Patel and his FBI. Keep him coming, Trump. He's got those guys scrambling so hard. And I love every minute of it. It's absolutely fantastic.
You got 1 minute, Roy.
You got it. It's fantastic that he's got them back on their heels so bad. They can't even see straight. You know, a couple years ago, this dingbat she would have been praised. She wouldn't have been fired like she was today, or resigned, or whatever she did.
30 seconds.
But that's what we're up against on this. We'll come back. Maybe we'll play the tape of how the illegal gangs are taking over every town, or infiltrating in every town in Tennessee. And it's because of the emotional crap like this and what's been going on here and everything else that we've been seeing.
Here we go. 10 seconds.
For those who support America, patriotswitch.com.
IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The following is a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer, not endorsed by this station. Expressed are not necessarily those of management, employees, or affiliates.
There's that funky slide guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday, live at 5:30 on the Monument, 1490 AM, broadcasting all over the Inland Empire and the aforementioned AM band. Join your vast video audience on the Evil Epi Network and Rumble. Check us out, subscribe, type in IE Newswire on Rumble, and we're back on YouTube. And I'm not conforming to their crap. I'm just gonna. They can keep taking me off, and when they do that, I'm just gonna keep going back on there. It irritates the crap out of me. I see guys. Well, we can't say this because we don't want them to YouTube. Screw them. We let off the coverage with they just started the Baja 1000, the iconic off-road race. Started in the 50s, I believe. Of that, starting in San Felipe, Mexico, just south of Tijuana, goes all the way down till you run out of real estate. The next thing is the Pacific Ocean, and then they roll all the way back in. Very, very, very most prestigious race, the Indy 500 of off-road racing, as you see up in. Well, we'll put a little bit of that's some of the. And some of the neats, you're right on the old Pacific Ocean there as they go. And that's a lot of the roads in Mexico still today that you have to maneuver through. There are known a lot of not nice freeways and stuff all even by the coast of there, going through, as you've seen the guy go through the mud puddle there right by the beach. But no, it's a very iconic and cool race that's going on. I know a lot of people will be tuning into the Tyson Paul fight. I might check it out here to find out what's going on. But I think a lot of that gimmicky stuff is, you don't. I mean, I don't know if it's really fake or real or what when they get to these kind of things. But heck, if it blows off some steam and you have some fun with it, I'm not going to rain on anybody's parade on it. Have fun. If that's your thing, then go for it. We all need a little sanity or just a fun time here, especially with all that we've been through and continue to go through. Gave an update on the Absolute S show that's been going on in Moreno Valley schools and others. Another teacher clear across the other side got fired because she was threatening. She said, I'm going to put Trump supporters, voters on a stretcher and eliminate you permanently. Well, she got eliminated at least permanently from her teaching job, rightfully so. And maybe we're turning a corner. I hope so. Majority vote for Trump. His picks for the cabinet are driving the loony left and the establishment hacks absolutely nuts. And it couldn't put a bigger smile on my face. And I know the vast majority of Americans. This is why we put Trump in there. This is why he got a majority of the popular vote. Deal with it. Like that, Missy, you got to learn to deal with it. The Lincoln Riley trial started today. Lincoln Riley, who was brutally murdered, was in college, was brutally murdered or accused. He's accused. He's going on trial now of brutally murdering Lincoln Riley, sexually assaulting her, and then killing her brutally. And before anyone goes to this, you're just trying to sensationalize this, as the rhetoric has been, and it's far too pervasive in our society. This is Tennessee. Governor Bill Lee, and if there's a guy that probably should be president after Trump, I think JD's probably going to get it, but Bill Lee would make if it ain't Tulsi Gabbard, Bill Lee would make a fantastic vice presidential running mate, the governor of Tennessee, to that. He just came, and maybe we'll deal with that. He just came out and said, hey, eliminate. I support Trump, and I support eliminating the Department of Education. But back to Tennessee on that. This is a report of how the gangs from other countries that the Harris-Biden administration has imported by the tens of millions into our country are in every city in Tennessee. And remember when they said, Springfield, Ohio, and Aurora, Colorado, that's just a couple little areas of that. And no, don't believe your lying eyes. In Chicago and Seattle and all these places that never had to deal with illegal immigration until the Harris-Biden administration. Here we go.
They're back in all of our major cities.
Well, Venezuelan gang has resurfaced in Tennessee, and state leaders are warning of their violence. Law enforcement pleading with Governor Bill Lee for more resources today. They say this gang commits crimes ranging from trafficking women to even murder in broad daylight.
Remember when these nutcases, remember when we brought you from James O'Keefe and the whistleblower that went down there to help when the Harris-Biden administration said, we need people down there at the border to process. And she was Oh, bleeding heart lady. And I mean, I'm not necessarily just saying there's anything wrong with it, but maybe, or she was concerned. Let me put it in a nicer light. She was concerned that wanted to help. They needed help, and she was horrified of the kids that were just coming on, and they were turning them over to anyone. Human trafficking. The good-looking boys and girls are in the sex trade. What do we got? 300, 600,000? We don't even know where they're at. The not good-looking ones are working in the meat packing plant or picking cotton, and I know they do it by machines now, but whatever. They're doing the extreme. They're cleaning toilets and whatever. Venezuelan gangs, and Bill Lee said they're in every frickin' city in Tennessee. That's not Tennessee of California. That's Tennessee. How did they get there? The Harris-Biden administration took them. Well, now they're just flying them directly in. Once they would come across the border, they would just fly them everywhere. And remember how the big row was when Governor of Florida DeSantis and Governor of Texas got a few buses and moved them along. Ron DeSantis was the best one, put him up there, and where Hillary, Barack Obama there on Martha's Vineyard of that. And they're, well, we don't want him here.
At today's budget meeting with Governor Bill Lee, TBI Director David Roush opened with this.
So I want to start off this morning just talking about some concerning trends.
Roush says a Venezuelan gang named Tren de Aragua has been spotted in metros across Tennessee.
They are very violent. This is a group that was created in gangs in Venezuela, in the prisons in Venezuela.
Remember when Trump said they're emptying the prisons? In Colombia and Venezuela, and 60 Minutes was down there. Oh no, Trump's lying. Trump's making all this up. It's some evil white hillbillies, racists. They don't want them in the country, and all across the metro areas of Tennessee, the Venezuelan gangs are taking over. Roy's lying about it. Trump's lying about it. Todd Bensman's lying about it. Steve Bannon's lying about it. Ben Berquam, he's doctoring the tapes when he's down there at the border. Oscar Blue Ramirez and all that. I mean, we have one hell of a conspiracy going across all of this. I mean, we keep our Zoom calls that we're doing all this secret, folks. Holy cow. More from the report. Here we go.
And they are here, and they're in numbers here.
Venezuelan gangs are on the rise across the country. This year, the Biden administration named Tren de Aragua a transnational criminal organization and offered $12 million for the arrest of its leaders. Texas directed its law enforcement to target the gang. Here in Tennessee, the TBI says the gang disappeared 2 years ago, only to recently resurface.
Now what we are seeing is they are back. They are back in all of our major cities. They are
They are back. They are back in all of our major cities in Tennessee. Nashville, Memphis, Johnson City, Chattanooga. They are in all the major cities in Tennessee. I've said everything is local. Remember the old great Speaker of the House back in the Reagan days, Chip O'Neill. All politics is local. It isn't your problem until it affects you. When the illegals were coming in over the past 30, 40, 50, 60 years, When they were coming into Florida or Texas or Arizona or California, well, you know, that's their problem. Oh, we'll pass sanctuary cities and call them a bunch of racists. 187 in California, bunch of racists passing that. Da, 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 da. This is why we passed 187. And everybody that voted, what did we vote in 2000 to take it off, and the courts moved it? I'm telling you this, the Hispanic community right now should be putting 187 back on the ballot in California and supporting it. And every other state. Let's get rid of these sanctuary cities. And what are they doing down in LA? Bass is down there. Oh, we're going to protect everybody because the evil Trumps are going to come in here and LA's going to be a ghost town. Well, that might not be such a bad idea. More from the reporter in Tennessee. Here we go.
Human trafficking operations, that's where they start. But we are now, talking with our peers throughout the country, have learned that they have a pathway to more violence.
The TBI says Tren de Aragua.
They start with human trafficking first. Catholic charities, Lutheran charities, the Red Cross, who've all been getting your money through the Harris-Biden administration to aid and abet this. To strengthen this. To make sure it happens in the biggest possible numbers. They're criminals, in my opinion, helping. Not even worse than that. They're destroying the lives of millions of people. How would you like your kid to be sold in the sex slave? Yeah, you're going to turn 10 tricks a day, or we're going to beat the living crap out of you the first time you don't do it. And then guess what's going to happen the second? That's how they run things. Missies.
Begins its criminal enterprise by abducting women from Venezuela and trafficking them here to the U.S. Eventually, that evolves into organized retail crime and drugs and heinous violence.
Recently, there was a video that they shot where they shot an individual, a cartel member, 31 times, broad daylight, on video and posted it to social media. And that's the type of organization they are.
They start with the sex trafficking, and then it goes to retail. Then it spreads pervasively. If you don't do what they say, they shoot you 31 times in broad daylight. Tell me how that isn't different than China or Mexico or Colombia or Venezuela or anywhere else. The tin horn dictator, cartel-run areas, that's how they run it. And as you see the nice dirt roads right on the ocean of Mexico, if that's what you want to turn the United States back into, then keep going down this road, or keep having your little hissy fits, or whatever you're doing. Men, stand over in the corner and don't say anything. And let your sons, daughters, wives, mothers, and everyone else get abused, or shot, or killed. Look at Illinois. Who would have thought? it would have got within 5 points. Trump would have got it within 5 points of beating Harris in Illinois. You know, the bros in Chicago got a little pissed, to say it mildly, when they dumped all these illegals into their community in Chicago, and they're saying, WTF. Wait a minute. What is the sanctuary city stuff? That was meant for those nuts in California. Well, welcome to reality. Reality smacked them in the face, like Tyson slapped that dude in the weigh-in or whatever it was yesterday. And it ain't pretty. Before I run out of time, deal with some of the local races here in the Inland Empire. Two very important ones. Looks like Leticia Castillo is going to beat the drunk Clarissa Cervantes, two-time drunk, who said a month before she got the second one, while she was a councilwoman, oh, if you expunge that one I did 10 years ago when I was 22 and I was young and dumb and I didn't do that and I'll never do it again, got arrested, the Hamas meeting and all the other crap she's pulled at the city of Riverside. Well, it looks like you'll have to deal with her for 2 more years. Ha ha, city of Riverside. Because it looks like, although she hasn't conceded, Cervantes hasn't conceded yet, and it is still possible, but not probable. Let's get the graphic up there of that. But Castillo's still maintaining about a 500 vote lead for AD 58. This will be a flip. Her sister, Sabrina Cervantes, which is going to be the senator from 31, replacing little Dickie Roth, and we'll get to that in a minute. Ha ha ha. But I don't know. Throughout the primaries and the campaign, Cervantes, I believe, spent over $1 million. Castillo only had 80,000 in a very plus D that Biden won. Biden won this district by 19 points last time. Looks, unless things change, and there's very few votes, they're just going through the provisionals and ballots that need to be cured. All the votes have been counted, from my information from Riverside County, that you've mailed in, you voted at the voting center, that they're all done. Unless you're in the unless your ballot, is in the cured pile, which there was only 12,000 of them in the cured pile. So, I mean, unless it's in that pile, your vote is already in. The only thing they're doing is going through there in the provisionals. They got about 12,000 of those and about 35,000 what they call provisional ballots. We won't get into that. But so the counts will be very, very minimal in that, and probably take another week or so to finally get to the final ones. But this is absolutely, put it up on the big screen here in a second. This is absolutely fabulous. Couldn't be happier. Leticia Castillo kicks the ass of the drunk Clarissa Cervantes. And I hope you guys down in Riverside get a good candidate to run against Cervantes and get her out of the council, so we'll be done with her. Now, we could have probably got her sister and Ron Edwards and got Corey Jackson out, but that's a story for a different day. We got plenty of time to post-mortem the elections of that. But this is why your establishment, and a lot of guys and gals that a lot of you cheerleader and jock on, screwed you in this election. We could have won 80, 60, and Senate District 31 had we had our act together. Not that I'm complaining we got one. We flipped one down in assembly seat down in that down in Imperial County. Looks like we'll hold on to the Greg Wallace seat. That has been very contentious. So we might pick up 2 assembly members. I think we had 1 state senate. Here's the big one. And most people, I said, don't count Jose Medina out. I said, I'm betting. If I had to bet, and everybody, all the establishment hacks, Sheriff Chad was telling you how you got to vote for little Dickie Roth, who was, again, wanted to kill Prop 13 and supported Prop 5. Supported Prop 6, the gas tax, and held out the vote to put more toll lanes in Riverside to screw you and make your traffic worse, and on and on and on. Little Dickie Roth conceded Jose Medina is going to be the supervisor for District 1 in Riverside County, as he sees in that. So, again, and we could have had a better one, Chad, if you'd have listened to me, if you'd pick up the phone once in a while and quit listening to them a-holes that are talking in your ear and blowing your head up. We could have got rid of Corey Jackson. We could have got rid of Sabrina Cervantes, who was down at CARB trying to screw us again with the gas tax and the housing and everything else. I wish you guys would pay attention. I wish more of you would show the hell up. That was in Riverside. You could have had your voice down there. How many Riverside Inland Empire residents beside myself were out there talking against it? Both days, Thursday and Friday. Go ask Sabrina. She was there. Sabrina Cervantes was there on Thursday. Y'all got to start stepping up to the freaking plate. Because we could have done a lot better had we worked this in the primary than Jose Medina. Now we got this ass show to go with. And it's a lot of the fault. It's all of our fault for letting it happen. Like I said, the good news, Leticia Castillo's looks like she's gonna defeat Clarissa Cervantes, so I don't want to be Debbie Downer the whole way. I mean, there are some bright spots in here, but we got to build on that. We got to be sharper on this stuff. We all got to be getting in the boat and rowing in the same direction. Because we need to, especially in California, we need to make more than just very small baby step games. When we could have gained 2 or 3, and we only came out with 1, that's a victory. But we need to make bigger and bolder steps to that if we're ever going to turn the state around. As you know, I've been talking about standing up for our country, doing something. These big box stores stayed open while the little guys closed. Will our voices be heard? Does voting with our dollars work? PatriotSwitch.com gives patriots the power to walk away from the big box stores forever. Stop supporting the enemies of freedom now. That's why PatriotSwitch.com was created, for those who support America. PatriotSwitch.com. Is your car doing the hucklebuck and afraid you will be stuck? Well, head on down to Toyota of San Bernardino, Nissan of San Bernardino, Subaru of San Bernardino, and the San Bernardino Auto Mall, and catch a Camry, look ravishing in a Rogue, or be styling in a Subaru. Don't forget I-10 Toyota in Indio for those of you in the lower desert. You deserve to be the happiest human on the planet. So head on down to one of these 4 great dealerships for the car of your dreams. Spread the word. IE Newswire is now on every Monday through Friday, live at 5 p.m. on Rumble and KMET 1490 AM, 5:30 to 6 p.m. Join all the cool kids who want an eclectic look at the news without all the filters of the evil scoundrels of social media and the despicable dorks of the dominant press. Don't bumble and stumble. Subscribe to IE Newswire on Rumble and roll with the best hillbilly hoedown around. That's it. If you want to buy American, go to PatriotSwitch.com. If you need a new Toyota or Subaru, go to one of Cliff Cummings' great dealerships at San Bernardino Auto Mall at the 10 and 215 freeways. Don't forget I-10 Toyota down in the lower desert. Do something fun this weekend. Well, you can watch Baja 1000 or the Tyson, whatever fight, Tyson-Paul fight, whatever it is, or something else this weekend. Build on the success we had, learn from the mistakes, try to remedy those, and we'll all be all right. We'll turn this thing around. That'll do it for today and this week, as we usually say at this time. Mandatory, you're back here in 71 Hours Why. You're the best darn show in the whole wide world. Till then, see ya.
The proceeding was a.
All right, all clear. You know, I love that Matt Gaetz pick. I don't know about you.
Oh, I said.
Yeah, I know you said
if
it.
Trump gave me one pick that I got, that would have been it. That's what I said. I mean, I've been saying that. I thought there was about a 0.001% of that happening. But
Yeah.
if he didn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny. That had to piss off the left more than anything.
Oh,
Man.
Practically all the picks are. Each one he keeps coming off sends them clear farther into the
I love.